Okay, picture this. You've got this super powerful server sitting in a data center, but most of the time it's barely breaking a sweat, just using a tiny fraction of its real power. And that's a huge problem, right? So the question becomes, how do you take that one machine and make it do the work of 10 or 20 or even 50? How do you unlock all that wasted potential?
And the answer, the magic behind it all, is virtualization. It is an absolute game changer. It's a technology that lets you take a single piece of hardware and just logically slice it up into a bunch of totally separate, isolated environments. This completely flips the script on how we use and manage computers, basically turning one server into an entire fleet. All right, so building this virtual world, just like any solid building, it all starts with a really powerful foundation. And for VMware, that first, most critical piece of the puzzle is called ESXi. Now, to make these ideas really stick, let's use an analogy for the rest of this. I want you to think of it like this. We're not just managing servers. We are architects, and we are constructing a super high-tech apartment building, starting right from the ground up.
So the very first step is to pour the foundation. In our analogy, that's the ESXi Hypervisor. Now, it's called a bare metal hypervisor, and that's a key detail. It means it's not just some program you install. No, it's a special, dedicated operating system that goes directly onto the server's hardware. Its one and only job is to create a super stable and efficient base for all of our virtual apartments.
And ESXi is incredibly lean and mean. It has what we call a lightweight footprint, which just means it doesn't waste the server's precious resources running itself. Its entire purpose in life is to host virtual machines, or VMs, which are, you guessed it, the individual apartments in our building. ESXi is the thing that directly manages and hands out the server's physical resources, the CPU, the memory, the storage, to each and every one of those VMs. Okay, so we've laid the foundation for our first building. It's looking good. But what happens when you need to manage a whole city of these things? Well, for that, you're going to need a central command and control center.
Think about it. Managing one building? Pretty straightforward. You can walk the halls, check on things by hand. But now imagine you're in charge of this massive, sprawling complex with hundreds of these buildings. You can't be everywhere at once. It's just not possible. You need a central office, a command center, to see everything and manage it all efficiently.
And this really highlights the huge difference here. A standalone host, that's like a building with no property manager. Every little task is manual and separate. But with a vCenter cluster, all of your resources, all your buildings are pooled together into one giant, manageable entity. This is what gives you central management and unlocks incredibly powerful automation. It is literally the difference between chaos and control.
So this central command center, that's the vCenter server. In our analogy, this is the main property manager's office for the entire city. It's the brain of the whole operation. From this one single place, you can manage all of your ESXi hosts, you can automate really complex jobs, and you can monitor the health of your entire virtual world. This is the key that unlocks those amazing features, like moving a live running server from one piece of hardware to another without anyone even noticing. Okay, so if vCenter is the powerful engine running things behind the scenes, how do we actually talk to it? Well, we do that through the vSphere client. This is the web page, the dashboard you log into. Think of it as the computer sitting on the manager's desk. It's the graphical interface you use to see what's going on and to send commands to vCenter. This all creates a really simple and clear chain of command. An administrator logs into the vSphere client. That client sends commands over to the vCenter server. And then vCenter takes those instructions and carries them out across all of the ESXi hosts it manages, all of our building foundations. Simple as that.
All right, we have our foundation and we've got our central management office. But what about the experience inside each apartment? We've got to make sure everything works perfectly for the tenants. And in our case, that's the operating systems and apps running inside our VMs. You know, a luxury apartment isn't so luxurious if the internet's slow, the clock on the wall is always wrong, and the windows are clunky to open and close. The exact same thing is true for our virtual machines. We need to install all those high-quality utilities that make them fully functional, efficient, and just easy to use. And that is the job of VMware Tools. It's a critical suite of utilities that you install inside of each virtual machine. It's what gives you the optimized hardware drivers for the best performance, it keeps the system clock perfectly synced up, and it enables that seamless integration, like moving your mouse smoothly from your desktop right into the VM's console without a hitch. It's the finishing touch that just makes everything work the way it's supposed to.
Okay, so let's take one last look at the final blueprint of our virtual city. The foundation is ESXi, the hypervisor that hosts all our VMs. The central command is the vCenter server, our building manager. We talk to it using the vSphere client, which is the manager's PC. And then inside each and every VM, we have VMware Tools providing those essential in-room utilities. Every single piece plays its own distinct and absolutely vital role in the whole system. So we've built it. We've built our virtual city. Now the big question is, what can we do with it? Well, this architecture lets us solve problems that used to be completely impossible. We can move a running server from one physical box to another with zero downtime. We can automatically recover from hardware failures in seconds. We can scale our entire infrastructure up or down whenever we need to. So the real takeaway here isn't just how it all works, but the incredible, mind-blowing capabilities that this elegant system unlocks.